Welcome you all in the presentation of Module 5, Part 1, Drought Management and Water Harvesting, of subject Water Resource Engineering and Hydrology. I am Trupti Pandya from Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Technical Education and Research Center, Navsari. This video include following contents: definition of drought, causes of drought, measures for water conservation and augmentation, drought contingency planning, rainwater harvesting, rainwater collection, small dams, runoff enhancement, runoff collection, ponds and tanks. Let's start with introduction of drought. What is drought? Drought is a normal, recurrent feature of climate. It occurs everywhere, vary from region to region. It originates from deficiency of precipitation. It has an impact on ecosystem and agriculture of affected region. Drought leads to flood, insecurity, famine, malnutrition, epidemics, and displacement of population. Types of drought. There are three types: meteorological drought, agriculture drought, hydrological drought, socio-economic drought. Let's see one by one. Meteorological drought is defined usually on the basis of the degree of dryness and the duration of the dry period. This happens when the actual rainfall in an area is significantly less than the climatological mean of the area. Usually, the average precipitation is less than 25% of the mean annual rainfall. Right? So, meteorological drought usually precedes the other kind of drought. So, meteorological drought is based on degree of dryness and the amount of precipitation is less than 25% of the area. Next is agricultural drought. Agricultural droughts are droughts that affect crop production or the ecology of the range. Agricultural drought link various characteristics of meteorological, means hydrological drought, to agriculture impacts, focusing on precipitation shortage, differences between actual and potential evapotranspiration, soil water deficiency, reduced groundwater or reservoir levels. It is caused by an extended period of below average precipitation, resulting in acute crop stress and fall in agriculture productivity due to inadequate soil moisture. So, reduction in average precipitation for extended period, it affects the agriculture productivity of an area. Hydrological drought is associated with the effects of precipitation, including snowfall, shortfall on surface or subsurface water supply. So, marked depletion of surface or subsurface water causing very low river flow and drying of lakes, rivers, reservoirs, and lowering of groundwater. So, this type of deficiency is considered under hydrological drought. Socio-economic drought correlate the supply and demand of goods and services with the three previously mentioned type of droughts. So all types of drought ultimately affect the demand of goods and services. So that type of situation can be considered under socio-economic drought. When the supply of some goods or services such as water and electricity are weather dependent, then drought may cause shortage in supply of these economic goods. So directly, indirectly, it affects the requirement or demand of goods and services, and that comes under socio-economic drought. Let's see the causes of drought. First, an obvious cause is reduced rainfall. Then occurs when water vapor is not brought by air current to right area at right time. Means the cause of rainfall may disturb. Unusual current of cold and warm water in oceans creates high pressure. El Nino causes drought in Asia. Mountains prevent wind from blowing moisture to needy regions. So these are some reasons. In India, when water vapor does not leave Indian Ocean, it causes drought. Human activity directly triggers over farming, excessive irrigation, deforestation. Global warming results in rainfall in some areas and drought in some areas. So, what is the contingency planning? So, our next topic is drought contingency planning. To provide contingency plan to manage drought and emergency conditions, to continue to deliver a cost effective, adequate, safe and reliable supply of water, the provision of credit or cash, food for work, and to maintain water supply for animals and humans. So these are the topics to be considered in contingency planning. Maintaining cereal availability, human and livestock health service provision, support for private sector, provide food for affected stock, and flexible taxation system for affected people. Drought contingency planning allow for implementation of mitigation, relief and rehabilitation. So there are many planning factors are broadly divided into these category. Drought contingency planning for implementation. So overall drought policy, setting out plans, objectives or minimize the impact of drought, right? Set plans for specific mitigation, relief and rehabilitation measures. Construction of dams and additional reservoirs for supply of water. Cloud seeding means artificial rain. Desalination of seawater for irrigation or consumptions. Drought monitoring by total rainfall levels and total usage level. Land use by carefully planned crop rotation. Outdoor water use restriction. Rainwater harvesting. Recycled water. Relief works and disease prevention and control. So these so many factors are planned or implemented for or to reduce the drought effects. Contingency planning done by government. Policy issues, national, regional and district level, rural development infrastructure, input supply, marketing and farm advisory services are provided. These plans are comes under government planning for contingency. Contingency planning done by non-government like NGOs, rural institutions and private sectors. Right. So these are the factors or the uh, provisions are done by the government or by the NGO or as a person for drought contingency or reduce the or stabilize the effect of drought. Let's see the augmentation of water. So it includes method for providing an entirely new supply of fresh water and techniques for increasing utility of available supply of water. New supply of water include weather modification. Weather modification done to increase precipitation and decrease evapotranspiration. Cloud seeding done to increase precipitation. So artificial methods are used for water supply, right, and weather modification, and one of the method is cloud seeding. Winter seeding and silver oided. So this is one figure shows the advanced techniques for cloud seedings. So chemicals are sprayed, right, and through which the precipitation occur. Likewise. Next, availability of water supply increased by conservation of existing water supply. So this is, we can say, conventional method. Agricultural water requirement can be reduced by reducing conveyance losses and discouraging wasteful irrigation techniques. Techniques should be developed to reduce water consumption in home and industry. Evaporation losses from small reservoirs can be reduced by providing roofs. So these are the methods which control the losses in water supply. Then availability, same, existing water supply losses reduced by reclamation and reuse of wastewater can be encouraged. Evaporation losses in groundwater is less. Use of groundwater storage reservoir in conjunction with surface water storage reservoir. Infiltration losses can be reduced by sealing the soil surface, useful in arid regions. Water harvesting done by collecting from rooftop pavements and by constructing small storage. So these are the augmentation of water method. One is artificial method and second is conventional method. Now next is measures for water conservation. How we can conserve water. So goal of water conservation efforts include why we have to conserve water. The goals are sustainability to ensure availability for future generation. Energy conservation. World's 15% energy production depend on water management. And habitat conservation. Preserve freshwater habitats, migrating waterfalls. Right? So these are the measures of water conservation for sustainability, conservation of energy and habitats. So, which are the benefits of water conservation? Saving water ultimately saves money, as we know, we all know. right? So reduction in excess water use, reduced wastewater generation, which also reduces overflowing of gutter, right? Ecosystem and habitat protection is one of the benefit, and help in improving quality of drinking water. Different water conservation measures are domestic conservation, industrial conservation, and agriculture conservation. Domestic conservation include repair of leaks quickly, right? Which we have seen everywhere, the leaking tap. So first and simple most step in domestic water conservation is repair of these leaks. Turn off water when not in use. Use conserving appliances which use low volume water for domestic use. Local bodies should install water meter and encourage water prices. Next is industrial water conservation. It can be done by use cooling system which use less water, reuse of cooling water for irrigation or other purposes, install in-plant treatment measures for treating the wastewater or effluents. Now, next is agriculture conservation. It is done by use improved irrigation methods such as sprinklers or drip irrigation. Water required for agriculture is considerably reduced by reducing conveyance loss. Sorry, evaporation losses from small reservoirs can be reduced by providing roofs over them, and use of lined canal which reduce seepage and evaporation. So these are the measures through which we can reduce water losses or we can conserve water. Use of groundwater storage reservoir in conjunction with surface water reduce evaporation loss. Price agriculture water to encourage conservation. Infiltration loss is reduced by sealing soil surface, and water harvesting in arid region. Now, measures for water conservation. Following structures can be constructed. Now, for domestic, for industrial, or for agriculture, whatever be the purpose, these are the hydrological structures, small structures we can construct to store or somewhat to conserve the water and reduce the losses. First is earthen bund, second is gully pluging, third is check dam, and fourth is khet talawdi. So these are the earthen bunds. Earthen bunds are the earthen embankment, means low with the help of locally available materials and compacting them in layers will form pond like structure, and in the rainy season the rainfall and that pond like or depression can store some amount of water, and that can be utilized for small. This is gully plunging. The large area is divided into different zone by embedding some waste material or the cement bags, so we can store at least the water or the rainfall water may be infiltrated by this method. Check dams are small height dams of timber or concrete or masonry which store some amount of waters. Khet Talawdi is this is the best figure or real image of Khet Talawdi, means small portion of pondage we can create it by embankment, doing embankment like this temporary purpose, and that stored water can be used for farming purpose. Now, this is the most important topic, rainwater harvesting, as all we know and about this method. So, what is rainwater harvesting? Collection of rainwater called rainwater harvesting, and accumulation and storing of rainwater for reuse before it reaches an aquifer. So, water collected from roof of houses, schools, and local institutions make important contribution. Water collected from ground called storm water harvesting, right? Which are the benefits of rainwater harvesting? It increases water availability, checks declining water tables, environmental friendly, improve water quality of groundwater, surface water runoff conservation, prevention soil erosion and flooding in urban areas. Let's see the techniques. So the rainwater collection, rooftop rainwater harvesting, runoff collection include surface runoff harvesting, recharge of groundwater and runoff enhancement. Let's see rooftop rainwater harvesting. It is the rainwater captured from roof catchments and stored in subsurface groundwater reservoir. Objective is to make water available for future use, useful in dry land, hilly, urban, coastal areas everywhere. These are the components of rainwater harvesting system: collection area, conveyance system, storage facility, and delivery system. Storage reservoir is the expensive part, so carefully design and construction is required. First, rainwater should be flushed or diverted. So this is one of the simple figure we show how the rooftop rainwater harvesting system is work. So rainfall water fall on the roof of or the terrace of the house or institution is collected through this drain, and from that drain a pipe is provided, which is ultimately connected with the storage tank or water tank. So that stored water or underground storage reservoir is constructed, and further it is connected with the house water supply system, right? So filter is provided, right? So we can get clear water. Second, surface runoff harvesting. It is done by constructing small dams, ponds, tanks, and that water can be used for irrigation, domestic, livestock use. Small dams, we can say check dams, are constructed on natural channel which impound the runoff water. Slowly infiltrate into the soil and recharge the groundwater. So impounded water through seepage from the bed and banks, we can increase the infiltration of that area. Again the ponds and reservoir, so impounding type and duck cut type ponds constructed. Retaining walls or dam is constructed to block the flow of water in natural storm. So reservoir is created, and that store water can be used for different purposes. Storage tank, surface or above ground tank, subsurface or underground storage tanks are provided which collect the rainfall water and store the rainfall water, and at the time of dry or low rainfall season, that stored water can be utilized for irrigation purpose or any other purpose. Storage tank requires solids, secure cover, coarse inlet filter, outflow pipe, manhole. With solid construction work is to be done for storage tank. Third, so first rooftop water harvesting, surface water harvesting, and this is recharge to groundwater. The structures are pits, trenches, dug wells, hand pumps, recharge well, spreading techniques, and underground reservoirs. Runoff enhancement. This is one of the important topic exam point of view. Runoff enhancement. It can be done by increasing precipitation. How we will increase precipitation? Seeding generally done to increase precipitation. By this method, precipitation can be increased by 10% by ground seedings. Lump demonstrated that increase in annual runoff due to small increase in precipitation is given by this equation, where R is runoff, P is precipitation. Now let's see the methods of runoff enhancement. As we already see that cloud seeding. Second, enhancement by paved surface. So paving increase runoff, decrease infiltration. Surface of drainage basin effect on runoff. Bare surface give more runoff. Drainage basin located on windward side of mountain produce more runoff. Runoff affected by geology of drainage basin, pervious soil yield, less runoff. But when if and due to any reason, if runoff is less but it increase infiltration, so on the other way we can increase the subsurface water storage. Thank you. So this is one small part of module 5, which is drought and drought contingency planning and different water conservation techniques. Another part we will discuss in our next video. Thank you.